Yeah, and welcome back to the weekly update video. This is the oil drilling major update, 16th of March, 2023. So this is a big announcement that they put off a couple weeks because they said it wasn't ready. Dear Stormworkers and Roughnecks, the oil drilling update, our next major update is due out on Thursday, the 16th of March at 2023 at 5 p.m. UTC. Oh, let's see, what would that be? That would be noon Eastern Standard Time. Drilling for oil is coming to Stormworks via a series of new components and systems to facilitate creating and operating oil rigs. So this is very exciting for me. I'm very much into the industrial type of gameplay, the jobs type of gameplay. Looking forward to this. Oil drilling is very complex. There are a lot of nuances and a variety of techniques with differences between onshore, offshore, geology considerations, and generational changes. While Stormworks will simplify drilling, the principles remain. Our goal has been to encourage design with logistics and operations in mind. Let's talk about what that means. Oil deposits. Under the world of Stormworks, there will be hundreds of oil deposits of varying depth and size. Survey data for these deposits can be purchased from various oil sites. The wellhead. Wellheads will be a new component that form the starting point of a well. They can be established on any flat surface above or below the ocean. They incorporate the drill head and some plumbing and act as the interface for the well. Drilling rods. Drill rods will be 10 meters long physical rods that can be chained together to form longer rods. These rods can be fed into and recovered from a well. So that's good. Probably a spawn in out mechanic. Rod handling, giggity. There will be various robotic parts for grabbing, handling, feeding, joining, separating, and driving rods. For example, you will need the rod threader to merge two rods together, and the driver is required to turn the rods for drilling. Slurry. Slurry or oil drilling mud is required for drilling. Slurry must be pumped down the rods into the drill head to lubricate drilling and transport the cut stone and material away from the drill head. The slurry must be circulated and cleaned in mud scrubbers to remove the debris and keep the well drilling. I'm really glad they're going into a complex methodology for this. Oftentimes you see a lot of gamification, I think is the proper term, where they try to oversimplify this. This adds a lot of realistic components, which adds engineering needs, which makes complexity rise. I think as the complexity is increased, that causes you to need to come up with engineering solutions. And at the heart of this game, it is an engineering building game. The more complex the engineering requirements, the more creative our solutions can be, the more engineering that is required. I think this makes it so that it is a higher floor, so that you really have to learn more about this. I'll be putting out tutorials as I learn it myself. But as you raise the floor, you often raise the ceiling, which is going to make replayability. So some people may be a little bit scared off at the complexity of this. I think complexity is what makes this game great. I think complexity is what makes something rewarding. And so I think that's very important. I'm really looking forward to the complexity of this. Refining, if I could speak English. We are also adding some new parts to allow fractional distillation of oil into diesel and jet fuel. This is awesome. I really like this. I like that we can actually refine our own fuel. That's really cool. We're really excited to launch this new update and look forward to sharing it in a few weeks. In the meantime, let's see, we have next week's minor update, and we continue working on finishing this update as many others. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on this new update. Much love, Stormworks developers. So I'm really thrilled with this update. This is awesome. I kind of hypothesized this was going to be fishing. I'm equally happy with this. This doesn't necessarily mean fishing's not coming, but this is what's coming next. And I'm really looking forward to this. The complexity is really interesting to me. As we look through, let's kind of, make this a little bit longer video and kind of look at this. So I'm quite curious. This is a little bit of conspiracy theories here. I'm curious of one of the reasons why the ocean floor the visibility was deleted, if this had something to do with them putting actual oil deposits underground. I think they could have gone a super simple, boring way with this, and they didn't. And I think they're constantly thinking to themselves, how simple do we make this? How difficult do we make this? And they're going to alienate different parts of the communities with any of their choices. And you have certainly going to have people who are never going to be happy no matter what they do. But for example, the people who want a very casual gameplay where they can easily come in, and I don't use casual as a pejorative. I'm not using it as a negative way to be negative towards people. casual gameplay is important for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. For example, you have a bunch of kids running around the house and you can only game for 20 minutes at a time. Casual gameplay is great because you can jump in, do something, jump out. This is more on the simulator side. That's the area that I dwell in, that I live in. I love the complexity of simulation. I love the complexity of reality of it. I love the complexity of needing to engineer stuff. And so I'm happy they went this way. Of course, they're going to alienate a bunch of people who want a more simplistic gameplay. But like I said, they're never going to make everybody happy. I'm really glad they went with some complexity. Complexity is what makes it so that you can pour the 4,000 hours that I have into this game. Complexity is what makes it great, that you're going to have a lot of people, myself included, making tutorials for this type of stuff, which helps you learn how things are done in real life, helps you learn how things are done in game. It lets your engineering prowess and your creativity shine in game if you have to actually come up with some interesting solutions. And so to go through some of this again, oiling, as they say, oil drilling is going to be very complex and has a lot of nuances. The deposits that are going to be under the world, and, they could have gone with a very lazy way lazy isn't the right word. They could have gone with a much more simplified method, kind of how they did with the ore deposits. Again, I don't think it's lazy. That's definitely the wrong choice of words. They could have done it how they did the old coal, for example, where you went and it came out of a spout. And so it could have been reducing this to logistics and transportation. Hey, go here, get oil here. Hey, take that oil there, refine that oil, get diesel and jet fuel. Hey, take that there. Kind of like what we have now. But they really chose to go in a much more simulator direction. I'm really happy with this. And so there are going to be hundreds of oil deposits of varying depth and size. Survey data can be purchased from various oil sites. They probably could have come up with some sort of scanning mechanic. Would that really be necessary? Would that really be rewarding? Maybe, maybe not. I think depending upon how the world seeds work, they probably have to put these oil sites in static areas. They probably have to be the same place on everybody's seed. That does not surprise me. Because you're going to have to make it so that you can have a spawn generation area. As you make it more complex, where these could spawn anywhere, you could get some weird seeds where they're way out in the middle of nowhere. So I think it's reasonable that you have to purchase the location from various oil sites, the wellhead. So it looks like if they're going to have these areas, the wellhead will be the starting point of a well. So I don't know if that's going to be, so it says they can be established right here. It says they can be established on any flat surface above or below the ocean. So this tells me a lot. If I'm to hypothesize about this, you're gonna buy some data. It's gonna tell you where the oil well is. It's gonna give you GPS coordinates, for example. You're then gonna plot your course to there. You're gonna find out, okay, it's on the bottom of the ocean. It's on this spot. And you're going to have to go down. You're going to have to plant a wellhead, and that wellhead's going to allow you to drill the oil. The drilling rod, this is pretty reasonably realistic to my understanding of drilling. I'm certainly no expert. Is you have these 10-meter long physical rods that need to be chained together for longer rods. If you've ever seen real oil drilling, this is kind of how they do it. They have these pipes. They're hollow. They have threaded ends, and they have opposite threads on the other end, and you screw these together. This adds for a lot of logistics. This means you have to put them on trucks and boats, and you need cranes to move them. That's going to be super interesting. It's going to offer a lot of engineering solutions. It's going to bring a lot of liveliness and longevity to the game, as people, you have people who like building cranes. They're going to build cranes to move rods, and they're going to put them on the workshop, which is going to give vibrancy to the game. You're going to have people who are going to build boats for transportation and ways to handle the rods on boats. Really cool. Slurry. Slurry is going to need to be transported. Slurry is how they really do it. They put slurry down the pipe. This lubricates the drill bit so they don't overheat. It also allows you to take the debris up and out. So you actually pump the slurry out through the drills. That's realistic. And so you're going to have to likely bring in slurry in some sort of tank. That's a new game mechanic. You're going to have to bring out slurry. That could be dirty slurry. As you see, it has mud scrubbers that's going to have to clean it. That's new parts. That's new engineering. That's new things for us to do. For people that say they're bored, these are a lot of new things to do. The ability to refine them yourself into jet and diesel, that is awesome. That really increased the game value. So I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys are as well. The complexity of this is what's going to give it longevity and make the game interesting. People's solutions to problems are what's really exciting to me in game. There are a million ways to do these different things. There are a million ways to solve problems, and it's that which brings this game into stark focus and separates it from the others, in my opinion, is that the complexity is what breeds longevity in gameplay. If something's too easy and okay, just go over here. Okay, there's my drill head. Okay, drive it over there. Okay, I'm bored. And so you might, love doing the actual drilling part, and that might be all you get into. Somebody else might really like to do the transportation part. That's what they really like to get into. So I think this is going to be an excellent update. I'm really looking forward to this. They got some mud on their face when they said they were going to announce this weeks ago, and they didn't. Um, I think they could have handled the PR a little bit better, but it shows that they're trying some new things. They're trying some complexity. They're adding to the gameplay. People who, forecasted the death of Stormworks and they're already dead. The game's already dead. Have not been reading the updates for the last weeks, months, years. And so I think the game is very much alive. They're adding a lot to it. This adds a lot of gameplay, and I hope you guys are excited about this as I am. Any more logistics and industrial gameplay is a big thing for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.